So one of the questions I probably get asked the most is about energy. How do you bring energy? How do you make your presentation or your delivery, or when you're hosting an event or moderating an event, how do you make the energy really come out? Because often we don't feel it. It's really normal. I really struggle to get going in the mornings when it's cold and dark outside, and I know that summer is now a long way away. So how do I do it? How do I really bring the energy when maybe I'm not feeling it? What are my top tips for you guys? So the first thing I do is think my job is to energize everybody and to make them have a great time, even if it's just a small presentation or it's a big event. It doesn't matter. That's my job. I'm always thinking, how do I look after the audience? So I have to energize myself first and foremost. So yeah, coffee, glass of water, key, absolutely. Hydrate yourself, wake yourself up. But it's a little bit more than that. If it's a virtual event, then great. I'm at home. I can do whatever I like. I can warm up. I can do an exercise class beforehand. But even if I haven't had a chance to do that, I'll run up and down the stairs a few times, or I will swing my arms around, sing loudly, exercise my voice, get my lungs going, use weird foreign accents talking to my cat and dog. I love doing that because they kind of look at you like that afterwards, which is always funny and gets me in a good mood. And again, if you're in a live event when this is going to happen, you can't do that. But, just go into the toilet cubicle and wave your arms around and do weird faces, do a bit of gurning and smiling and breathing. Breathing's amazing. I didn't breathe there, did I? I was going so fast. But that's super important. Some really deep breathing. Fill your lungs with oxygen and calms you down, but also energizes you. Just the best exercise, and the best thing I can give you as a tip is to learn how to breathe properly. There's great stuff you can Google or just DM me and I can send you a few exercises to do. So we've done that. We've energized ourselves physically. And then the next thing we can do is really use our brain here, our imagination, and imagine an energetic, charismatic person, the most energetic, charismatic person you know. And if you don't know them, it doesn't matter. They could be a TV celebrity, a presenter, whatever. But just think about how they make you feel and what they do, and try and sort of say those words out loud, absorb them into your brain, like lively, charismatic, friendly, warm, generous spirited, exuberant. Those words will start your brain thinking, oh right, okay, those are good things to be, and the act of thinking about it will help boost it for you. And then another thing that you can think about is just speaking up a little bit. Often we are quite timid and quiet when we speak. That's very common for a lot of people. And if you know that's you, there are actually, again, some exercises you can do to help kind of raise that level in your voice. DM me if you need any. I have made other videos about it you can find on my YouTube channel. So yeah, raise your voice a little bit. Just the act of raising your voice a bit will energize you a little bit. And my next tip is to think about standing up. Now, I know that you probably are for a live event, but really stand up, really feel yourself grounded through your feet and then growing up through your head. That will give you that little bit of length in your body. It'll give you a bit more confidence. It will make you stand straighter. And again, it gives you a sense of a little bit of more power and energy. But again, if you're at a virtual event and you're at home, think about raising your computer up, putting it on a stand, because just standing up will give you more energy, and it really changes the timbre and the tone of your voice. I used to work in radio, and if I was reading in a kind of young youth station, we might stand to deliver the news because we'd come across with a bit more urgency and a bit more power. Whereas again, if you're working on a more talk-based station, or if you are reading into, say, a classical music station, you might want to sit down and be a little bit more measured and calm in your delivery of the news. But it really made a difference how I stood for or sat for a news broadcast. And I think the other thing that's really key is, even if you're just reading something off a screen like we were with the news, or it's something you know inside out, really try and deliver it as if it's the first time you said this, the first time you thought about it, so that it's much more interesting, and it hits the person with a bit more passion. Because if you're just reading the same old, or saying the same old, it can get very, very dull. Think back to school, the teachers who delivered it in an exciting, passionate way, that's the subject you were interested in. If they delivered it like they'd just been doing it for 40 years, and at my school some of them clearly had, then it just didn't raise any excitement for you. You just didn't get into that subject. And think about how the best teachers made you feel. That's what you want your audience to feel. So really employ those techniques. They can be incredibly healthy and helpful even. And I think, do bear in mind, it is exhausting to give a really good presentation or to present an event or host an event. You should feel absolutely shattered at the end of it, and that's fine. You can lie down then and you can have your cold drink or your hot drink, but beforehand, during the event, you're on show, bring the energy. Good luck.